everyone to the Outtakes Movie Podcast, where we're going to go through every single movie of all time and rank them objectively best to worst. It's still Christmas season. We still jolly. Amelia, how you doing?
I've been very festive. I have my pipe cleaner tree. We're all good. I'm ready.
Joe, how's things?
Yeah, it's alright. A bit warm in this jumper, but you know. Need to keep it on and you'll find out why later. Just carry on.
Joe's teasing a striptease. Must watch till the end.
Very nice.
Hey-o.
Stay tuned.
How you doing?
I'm here as well. Good evening.
Okay, and today we are going to be watching, it's in the background, Die Hard. Before we start talking about it, make sure you've seen the film, because we're going to be spoiling it in full. Jacob's shot.
It's like my phone's like cut half of his screen off, so I can only see a bit of him.
There you go.
Oh right, okay, yes, I can see it now. There it is. Amazing.
Yeah, we are going to be watching we are going to be spoiling the film in full, so make sure you've seen it, and let us know what you think of the film in the comments below as we go through it. Jacob, tell us all about How to Die Hard.
Right, so...
Jump off a bridge.
What?
What?
What did you say?
I didn't
You said How to Die Hard, so I said jump off a bridge, but no. It's a callback to the last episode. That's all it is. Go on.
Ah,
Hey!
very good. Look at the continuity.
Ew.
Alright, so... Die Hard. Released in 1988, July. Was released in LA a little bit before the general release, just because I guess it was set in LA.
July is a weird time to release a movie.
It is.
set in
Summer.
winter.
Yeah, I thought that actually, yeah. I
Which
thought,
is
why
kind
is
of doesn't help my theory that it's definitely a Christmas movie, because it is.
It is. It's set at Christmas.
It is.
It has Christmas songs.
And I'm going to get to that later. There's a big old debate about it. But I'm going to get to that. But yeah, it was released in July despite the fact it's a Christmas movie. And as I always do, if I tell you the budget, I want you to guess what the box office was. So, budget for this movie was $28 million. Right, not a lot of money.
That's not a lot of money at all.
That's not, no.
What do we think it took at the box office?
I don't think it did tremendously well. I think it probably picked up steam over time, but I reckon it still made money. So 36 to 42. I'm going to still go somewhere in that ballpark.
I was going to go 42.
Okay.
I was gonna do 30 or something, 30 to 35 maybe.
Well,
Oh god,
Think-
is it gonna be like mad?
this kind of shows how much of a popular success it was.
Oh, okay.
141.5
Wow.
million.
Oof.
Whoa.
That's very impressive.
That's
I mean-
very good.
To be fair, they did make like 5 sequels, so I suppose
Yes.
you should have used that as a
It must have been popular at the time.
yeah.
Interestingly, I read somewhere that while the budget was $28 million, roughly $130,000 of that was spent on glass alone. Just on
see
glass.
You can
I
And
see
if
mean,
you've
it.
seen Die Hard,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can understand that.
Yeah.
One of the translations for the title as well, I think it's Polish or something weird. It translates to like man in a glass castle or something.
Like that.
Somehow.
That's a cool name.
That is
though.
a cool
Like,
name.
That's
Yeah.
a very cool name. And it's very appropriate when it's...
Yeah.
If you've seen... Well, I
Nice.
say if you've seen Die Hard. You've now watched
Yeah.
Die Hard after that
Yeah.
spoiler warning. And you now know there's a lot of glass.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Joe and I were talking about earlier how it is based off a book. And
Yes.
the
Oh,
book is actually a sequel to another book that had an adaptation as well. So
What?
the first book even, was called The Detective. And that was adapted into a film which starred Frank Sinatra, of the same name. So we also had a film called The Detective, set in like the 60s.
Sinatra offered this role as well.
I don't think
Probably,
he was
I imagine.
offered
I
it.
I need to Google
I
that.
was reading something earlier about people who were offered this role other than Bruce Willis. Robin Williams did not get offered this role in order to take Bruce Willis.
Oh,
Yeah.
But basically,
probably did like at an LA
everyone,
party or something.
everyone
It's like, hey, Rob, don't they?
who was an action star was offered it and
Yeah.
turned it down, basically.
Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger included.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because I was thinking, just listening to some of the dialogue, I was like, this sounds like it was written for Kurt Russell. Like, I've seen Big Trouble in Little China, right? He can do goofy and he can do action. it's great at it. Some of these lines sound like they're for Kurt. So I googled it. Kurt's got nothing to do with this movie. It's just a weird thing I picked up.
But I can see where you get that from. It's similar sort of action goofiness sometimes. But yeah, the director was John McTiernan, who was the one adapting it. But yeah, so the sequel to the original book, The Detective, was called, where did I put it? Nothing Lasts Forever.
Sounds very Bond.
Okay.
Does sound very Bond.
It does, yeah.
Very Bond,
It does.
doesn't it? I think the title Die Hard is much better.
Oh yeah, for this
much
film.
better.
I mean, I've not read the book, but I couldn't imagine this film called Nothing Lasts Forever, considering what happens at the end. It does last forever.
Supposedly, I think either in the book or the plan was before, the whole plot was supposed to take place over 3 days, which is kind of interesting. But the director was inspired by Shakespeare to have it set over 1 day instead, or one night.
Oh wow! So do you reckon the book's longer then than just this plot?
I believe it is.
Oh, right.
I think, yeah. Although, again, Joe was telling me that because the book it's based off was written as a sequel to the film more than a sequel to the original book.
Well, yeah, like I read that they adapted the book, and then the guy who wrote it wanted them to make a sequel, so he wrote a sequel to the book with the intention of it being adapted into a sequel with Frank Sinatra. So it means that the book's written like an action movie.
Right.
So a lot of the set pieces in this are like from the book directly. It's really weird. Like a lot of the stuff you would think they've added in purely for the action was it's already in the book because he wanted it to be adapted. That's what I read. It's mad.
Which makes it quite a faithful adaptation, I suppose.
Yeah, it really does.
Again, it always had the sole intention of being adapted. We get to the cast. The cast in this is, I mean, they weren't as famous at the time, but now definitely more so. Bruce Willis. This was like a breakout role for him. He wasn't really considered an action star before.
Wasn't he a singer before this?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Was he?
I'm sure he was. He
I
had
didn't
like
know that.
He had like an album. It's well weird watching Bruce Willis sing.
Can he sing?
It's like, he can, yeah. It's weird.
It's like it's kind of like because we grew up knowing Hugh Jackman from Wolverine primarily before like.
See,
his
I knew
massive
him as
musical background.
musicals.
Yeah.
So I knew him only from musicals. And
Really?
then I think, because my mum used to watch the Oklahoma DVD that we've got of the recording of that musical. I watch it all the time, and he plays the main role.
So you watched
And
that
so-
before you watched X-Men? Somehow.
Yeah, so then I sat down to watch him with Wolverine, and I was like, hang on. That's the guy who sings? There's a great, what? Yeah, it was
That's
weird.
interesting. Alongside Bruce Willis, we've got Snape.
Oh, Rip
No. Now, Marvin the depressed android from Hitchhiker's Guide.
Also true.
Again, not seeing it.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, Alan Rickman, that's his actual name, for all of you who don't know. He was 41 when making this film.
Whoa.
Really? Whoa.
He looked very good for 41.
That's
Very
good.
good.
Alan
41.
Rickman plus beard, I'm here for that.
Ooh,
How old was he when he passed away?
even older.
Oh, I just forget that he died. Thanks for reminding me.
What
Even
did he
older.
say?
Even older.
Fuck off.
But yeah, as Amelia was saying just before we stopped recording, this was his feature film debut. So he'd done some on-stage performance and some TV performances that never starred in a movie. He'd only been in Hollywood 2 days before he was cast in this, supposedly.
Whoa.
And he was worried about doing it because he didn't want to be known as the villain. He didn't want to always be cast in villainous roles. But as it turns out, he's been one of the most famous villains of all time. Snape's. Is he a villain?
He's I
Yeah,
see him as an
but-
anti-hero kind of a thing, because
Yeah.
he obviously spoilers, but obviously he does the wrong thing to do the right thing. If you
Yeah,
get
he's the
what I
dude
mean.
undercover. Yeah,
But he's still a
Yeah.
prick.
he's an undercover cop.
Yeah,
Yes.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah,
He is.
He died at the age of 69, by the way.
he's an undercover wizard
Whoa.
cop, Jacob. they
Okay,
they,
nice.
they pull wands on kids instead of guns.
Yeah.
Wait, you know what that's like? That's
Yes.
like that really shitty wizard film from 2017. What was it called? Bright or something.
Oh,
Do you remember the one?
Oh, I
Will
watched
Smith.
Oh, it
that.
was bad.
Yeah.
That with Will
The
Smith.
Will Smith
and the,
one.
And then they were
Yeah.
going to make a sequel to it, weren't they?
They're still
God,
going to do a
it's bad.
sequel to it.
Oh, they still are.
It was
Brilliant.
greenlit straight away.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
why?
I do want to talk about Bright.
It was
but
pretty
there's,
terrible.
There's a really good video on YouTube about Bright by
I
Lindsay
think I've
Ellis.
seen it, actually.
And
I've
if
seen
we
it.
talked about Bright, I'd just be ripping her off. So.
Go watch that then. Have to
Um,
watch that.
Yeah, who else is in this? So we've got Reginald Vale Johnson, whose only other notable appearance on my IMDb is Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because he
Ew.
cameos in that for an episode.
As himself.
As
Doesn't even
himself,
play
yeah.
like. Yeah.
And finally, we've got that Dick from Breakfast Club is in this as well.
He is,
Playing the
Principal
same
Vernon.
character.
Yeah.
Oh,
Love
God,
that.
yeah, he is,
He's just
yeah.
playing
Oh,
the
man.
dumb, got the wool over his eyes, dipshit who hasn't got a clue what's
Yeah.
going on. And he
Oh,
plays
yeah.
the same person again. Yeah, so, but on to the plot. So this is, we start off Christmas Eve on a plane, and immediately, rewatching the start of this film, you very easily, quickly pick up all the important bits you need to know about everything with this movie. You see straight away that Bruce Willis is married, and he's scared of flying, which is why we get the thing about, take your shoes off, be barefoot for the rest of the thing.
Yeah.
And then because... Go on.
I was just going to say, I admittedly had to check that I was watching the right film, because I honestly thought that I'd put Bad Boys on again when it first came out.
Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
orange. Yeah.
It's got
Yeah,
a very
I was
similar
like,
start.
am I watching Die Hard still? And
mean,
he
the
was, I
thing
was like, whoa.
Do you know what this rings of? This rings of I am gonna be stealing a quote here from a film critic talking about has anyone seen Battlefield Earth?
No.
It's
Yes. A long time ago when it first
it's
came out.
Fucking
Wait, no,
John
the first one I think
Travolta,
of.
John Travolta
Oh,
and
no, I
Tom
haven't.
Cruise, right? And almost every shot in the movie is a canted angle. Almost every single
Ooh.
shot in the movie.
Oh, actually, no. I was thinking. Yeah, I've seen that one. Actually, I think of a different one. But I
And
have
there's a
seen that one,
really
yeah.
good review that says something like, the director has clearly seen that more accomplished directors use canted angles, but has not understood why they do it. Michael Bay has seen this movie.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yeah, it's
Is-
actually.
It does have a lot of similarities to like the orange and the planes and everything, but it's really apparent how quickly this movie gets dated by the fact that he reaches up into the overhead bins and he's just got a gun, and you go,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I noticed that. I was like,
so
whoa.
bizarre.
No, but to be fair, when we flew to Paris a couple of weeks ago, I'm 100% sure it said you can bring a firearm and weapon as long as you have a permit.
Fucking hell.
Whoa.
Because me and Zach were looking at like, hold on a minute. You can bring a gun on a plane if you have
Whoa.
a permit? What?
That's not good. No.
No way.
Yeah.
What,
I
like,
wanna Google that.
what? Was it here or was it in...
It was
France?
Air France, so... No,
I mean,
no,
'cause-
so it was flying both ways.
Because you can't... If it was here, you can't have a permit for, like, a pistol or anything, can you?
Mhm.
You can only have
Well,
a permit for, like,
actually-
shotguns and stuff.
My
Was it
mum has a
rifles?
friend who owns a farm, and I'm pretty sure he has a permit for a shotgun.
Yeah, that's
Obviously
when you can
farm.
have
Could you
rifles
imagine
and stuff.
packing a
You can have
fucking
permits for
double-barreled
rifles.
shotty into your overhead
That's
hanger
what I
and
mean.
going, oh no, it's alright, it's alright. I've got the paperwork. You know.
Yeah.
It's
Don't be worried.
ridiculous,
It's-
yeah.
It's so
I
weird.
think it's, like, pistols and handheld, like,
See, I can Google it.
things that are illegal that you
weapons
can't get them for.
conceal.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Something to do
I
with
think
concealable weapons.
you can have permits for, like, shotguns and rifles and things.
Farmers
what
you
you
can.
can-
I'm sure
yeah.
you can.
But you need,
But then
it
again, I'm
needs to be really
saying that.
specific.
My knowledge comes from Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, same. I'm thinking of that guy,
Everyone
the one who has it
their
on his
mums is pecking
arm.
round
And he's
here.
like, yeah.
Do for this one, like. What?
Do for this one.
But
Yeah.
other than just having a gun on a plane, steps off the airport, starts having a cigarette. Can't
Yeah.
be doing that.
Man.
But anyway,
Then the 80s, you know what I mean?
different time. I mean, this has all of your classic 80s movies tropes. They're all in here somewhere. So if you think of an 80s movie, you think of explosions, cocaine, boobs.
Yeah.
All of those things appear in this film.
Boobs.
All three are in this
Boobs.
movie.
Yeah.
Some of them not for very long. Like the cocaine, it's brushed.
Yeah,
very
you don't
quickly
even
off the
really
desk.
see it. It's mostly just that's your
Yeah.
indication that
Yeah.
cocaine's been involved.
Yeah.
And boobs
You hear
are
the sniff.
very hardly in this, but they're there.
It's like
so
a single shot, I think.
tick that box.
I'd say probably in the party dresses there might be a couple of boobies.
It's in just after, because there's a couple who are trying to like bang, and they end up walking in.
Isn't Ellis trying to bang that?
No,
woman?
it's just different couple. It's
Is
not
it not?
Ellis.
Okay, I thought it was Ellis.
And they try and bang in the private bathroom that Bruce Willis is in. Bruce Willis and Holly Gennaro. Oh, what's her name?
Yeah.
Did I write that down?
Holly.
Yeah, Holly.
White?
Holly
It's
McClane,
Holly,
yeah.
but like the actress is Bonnie
no, I don't know the actress.
Bedelia. I hope I said that right.
Sure.
There's two people trying to bang in there, and then they don't.
There's
and then
also
later on when
there's also the poster of the boobies.
Oh yeah, that he
true.
glances at as he walks.
He's like, ooh.
I love it. He's like, uh-oh.
Because there are
Nice.
so many hints in this that John McClane is just a bad husband and just isn't particularly great.
He's just a
John
normal
McClane's
guy, and he's
not
like,
a good dude.
he's
No.
not. He's
Do you know
just.
do you know what's really funny is they really try and make John McClane you sort of like straight man, every man. He's calm Argyle's loud and wacky, and John McClane's just whatever, man, just shut up, will you? But
Yeah.
then once things got kicking off, he's a fucking psychopath. He's an absolute fucking psychopath.
Yep.
That message he leaves on the jumper, that's
So
some fucking Joker shit there.
I love that.
My God.
I love it. Amazing.
That's one of my I say quotes. Well, the way like Snape reads it out is brilliant.
Yeah.
Snape is
there's a lot
easier.
of-
It's just one syllable. He's Snape.
Yeah.
But Hans is one syllable.
Yeah, but it's Hans Gruber. I'd have to say his full name, or else,
Hans Christian Andersen. We could be talking about a storybook, dude.
fuck off. He's
That
Snape,
would be a
alright?
wild turn,
Just
wouldn't
Snape.
it?
But yeah, I was gonna write down the plot as I went through this. And I put Bruce Willis is visiting Holly for Christmas. You know the rest, and just gave up trying to write the rest of it down because I've seen this movie a lot. I presume you guys had all seen this movie before watching it for this, right?
But I only
No.
watched it about 2 years ago for the first time.
I've seen it
Start of uni,
all the way through like one time before, but then because my dad likes this movie, it's one of those films he'd be watching, I'd see it in bits and pieces, so I probably have seen it multiple times, just not all at once, more than twice now.
Fair
I've
enough.
seen a bunch of stuff that reference it, but never the original.
Oh yeah, I knew all the scenes as they were coming up, like the bit where he says the machine where he reads out the thing written about the machine gun. I'd seen that clip before, and
Yeah.
I've watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so I know all the quotes. So
Fair enough.
Love that.
Some of the quotes in this are so good, just so like quippy, classic action movie.
yeah.
Easily one of my favourite ones. I actually have it on a banner in my hallway because it's Christmas that says
Nice.
"Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker."
Fuckers.
Because why? Brilliant, classic Christmas.
Nice. It is classic Christmas.
Classic Christmas. A lot of John McClane's plans to get they're not really terrorists. They keep being referred to as terrorists, but they're not. They're just thieves. They're just trying to burgle the shit out of a big corporation and just play it off as terrorism. But yeah, a lot of his attempts to foil them, he ends up just being screwed by shitty police in LA, essentially. So when he's on the emergency channel trying to say, oh look, we need some help over here, get over here. They're like, nah, come on, this is an emergency channel, you're not supposed to be on the channel. And well, if someone's on it, clearly
I love that bit.
they know about it and are trying to get help. But
Do I sound like I'm trying to order fucking pizza?
Yeah, I love that line.
beautiful quote.
He yells at him
beautiful
like,
quote.
oh yes.
But yeah, so we get loads of signs John McClane's just a bit of a shitty person. Well, not a good husband, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always looking at ass a lot.
Titties.
Looking at a lot of ass. But anyway, he rocks up to the building, which I don't say, do any of you recognise the building? It's unlikely you'll recognise it, but do any of you know the significance of that building?
IRL.
Nakatomi Plaza. Yeah.
No.
Can I take a guess?
You can guess.
Right. Was it used for, Back to the Future, Biff's casino? Was it that building? No, okay. I just had a feeling it might have been, but that's fine.
I get what you mean though.
Do you
actually.
get
I can
why?
see that. Yeah, it's a
This-
similar looking building.
Was the HQ of 20th Century Fox. This was Fox Plaza.
Ah, that's cool. That's even
Whoa.
cooler.
So they actually own that building anyway.
That's why it's
That's
so
like-
cheap.
That's like me filming in my uni or something.
Yeah.
Which is
You say
something
that's why
that
it's cheap,
everyone's
Sam.
like, "Ooh, you filming in uni? What the fuck?" Like,
They still had to bill themselves. Like, they still had on the invoice. They still had to bill themselves for the use of their building. The building at the time was also under construction in real life, so all of the 30-something floors, 30th-something floors that were under construction, were actually under construction. They
So
just added in a bit of detail to make it.
That's so
wait, so
interesting.
are you telling me that the
Active.
thingy then, the when they're filming on the roof, they're actually filming on the roof?
I believe so. Yeah, the one
Whoa,
location
like, you
in
can't do
there
that now, can you?
isn't from Fox Plaza is the actual 30th floor because it was too big.
Yeah.
Which is kind of odd because they're too big to build and film in the actual building, so they built a set that's slightly bigger than the 30th floor, but you never get an idea of how big or small it is, so it doesn't really matter.
Whoa.
But yeah, that's kind of cool.
That's really cool.
One of my favourite things about this is once all the action starts off, is you still get the very, like Sam, you were saying, how John McClane is just a bit fucking bonkers once everything starts kicking off.
Yeah.
When he seems to be calm to begin with. The way Snape is just cool and collected throughout all of this. I enjoyed that contrast.
Yeah.
But yeah, after shit sort of hits the fan and the terrorists rock up, and it's all very smooth and all very well executed, part of me kind of wants them to succeed the whole way through. Like, I'm surprised they haven't made a movie where it's like a heist movie from the other perspective. Because I feel like some of the planning and stuff that went into it and the smoothness of it.
Yeah. I mean, they probably have in some sense the word, but
There have been
it's always
video
weird,
games.
isn't it?
There have been die-hard
Oh,
video
yeah.
games, because of course they have.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
They're
I've-
atrocious.
I didn't even know they existed.
I only
they've
found out
got-
about it recently.
They've got, like, Tomb Raider controls. If anyone's played Tomb Raider for PS1,
Pointy boobs Tomb Raider.
Pointy Boobs Tomb
Oh.
Raider, Lara Croft controls like a tank,
Nice.
right?
Yeah.
So they've got, like, that controls, but, like, without the good level design that went into Tomb Raider. And I'm pretty sure the draw distance is really shit as well. They're not
Ooh.
good. They're not
Fair
good games.
Yes, well, spawning video games, it's also, as we all know, got multiple sequels. In my opinion, only 2 and 3 are any good. 4 and 5 are a pile of shit. But did you know that they are planning on making a prequel?
Oh, you know what? I did actually hear about this.
Have they
yeah.
said who's playing Bruce Willis? Or is
don't
there
think
theories?
so.
Who would you like to play young Bruce Willis?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
No.
Oh, you know.
Have you seen
If you've seen Looper, yeah, I'll give you that. He plays
I
a
think I've seen
good
that
young
once.
Bruce.
Yeah,
He plays
Looper
a young Bruce Willis in that. He's good in
plays
that. so
young
I'll
Bruce
give him
Willis
that.
in that. So that's the
I'll
only
give
reason
him that,
I said him, because he's already
See,
been.
I'm sure that I read though that this new prequel was gonna be Bruce Willis using de-aging. Like,
Oh
I
my
wouldn't be
God.
surprised. I wouldn't be
So
surprised.
bad.
like they're gonna give him a wig and they're gonna thing it. I mean, I might have made that up, but I'm
Apparently,
sure I
most
read
of
that.
The Irishman is them de-aged, so I would
yeah,
not be
yeah,
surprised.
it is. It pretty much
Well,
is.
the
Yeah,
thing is,
it's
most
insane.
people.
It's like,
But
one
De
bit of it.
Niro shows up to act though. Bruce Willis
Bruce
does
Willis
not
does
anymore.
not. He does not
Yeah.
care. He won't.
He won't care
He'll be
for
no
a
good.
Die
What was
Hard
the most
prequel
latest thing
either.
that Bruce Willis has been in?
Glass.
Glass.
Oh,
He kind
God,
of turned a bit in
Yeah.
that,
There it was.
but even at the same time, he's still a bit.
Did you know that he was done within like 5 days or something on that movie?
Really.
Yeah, he
God.
booked in and booked out.
Do you think
There,
he's
there
Wait,
is,
I mean,
still
like-
there is,
stinking
there is a
rich
lot.
now?
Apparently, there is a lot of the movie where it's just a body double.
Really.
He just wasn't. He
Oh,
was
they-
not. He was not willing to show up for enough time to get all the shots, so they just shot body double.
So I mean, he is in the poncho a lot in that
Yeah.
film. To be fair, like, and even when he's not in the poncho, you can see that it's him. Like, does not cover him up. It's like, right, he's here. Fucking shoot as much as he can. It's like, what a guy.
He's called John
But not
McClane,
really.
isn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
apparently the film's called McClane,
Yeah.
and he is
God.
rumoured to be coming back for the main role.
Ridiculous.
If it starts off with he's sat on like the porch of some summer house, and he's like, back when I was a cop, I was a young, spry little
Like
cop.
in The Hobbit.
And then there's like a flashback, and then it's some other actor entirely.
Do you know who I think would be good? Taron Egerton would be good. Young Bruce Willis.
Which one's he?
Eggsy from the Kingsman.
Yeah, Kingsman.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you that one, yeah.
He's very British, though, isn't he?
That's what I was
but
thinking.
he
Can he
was,
pull off an American accent?
Wasn't he in something where he's American recently?
Oh, maybe. The last thing I can think of is
He's
the
got a lot.
Elton John thing. Yeah.
Oh,
can't
yeah,
remember what it's called.
he was Elton John, wasn't he?
Yeah, but Elton John's English, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Oh, God, he was American in something, though. Oh, God, what was it? God, can't remember. Oh, well.
Nah, I got nothing. I always get him confused with Thingy from Baby Driver.
Ansel Elgort.
And Thingy from Solo.
Oh, I can't remember his
Adrian...
name.
Is it Aid... No, hold on.
I thought his name was Ansel Elgort.
No.
That's who I thought of when you said it, honestly. When you first said that, that's who I thought you were on about.
What's his name? Hang on.
See...
Hang on.
Aiden, Alden Ehrenreich. I can't say it.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Elden.
A man
fucking
so
good
bad at
for me.
acting, he got both of his directors fired.
You've not seen Solo, alright? Shush.
Well,
Didn't he have to have
he-
acting lessons?
That's what
did,
happened,
that-
though, allegedly.
Allegedly. He had to have like an acting coach on set, didn't he? But you know what?
Yeah.
He's not even that bad. I think
He's solid.
he's
Well, apparently he was bitching to the producers because all the other actors were getting to improvise, and because like Donald Glover and everyone else is really talented, they were just bouncing off each other and having a lot of fun. And he was like, "I can't join in. I've got no talent."
You see, I reckon
They
you'll
fired
only
the
tell
directors.
any story that's negative about Solo, Sam. I reckon
What?
if you heard one good story that was, oh, did you hear this really fun thing that happened on the set of Solo? You'd
Lies!
immediately dismiss it. Immediately.
Give me the source. All of mine's are allegedly,
disagree.
but I demand the source for this.
I'd be like, oh, there was a party on the set, but everyone got food poisoning. Oh, like that one guy got food poisoning even though he kind of went for seafood the day before, but he got food poisoning. But no, like you know what? He's not even that bad in the film. I feel like his problem is he doesn't play. He plays a good young Han Solo, but he doesn't play a good young Harrison Ford. It's a weird thing.
I
He
agree
plays
with that.
Han Solo really well, but doesn't play Harrison Ford Han Solo really well. It's weird. It's a weird balance.
I mean, I have not seen the movie, but what I got out of the trailers when the marketing was around, that's how I saw it anyway. I was like, you are really trying to do a Han Solo impression, but you lack the charisma that Harrison Ford had to
that's
really
the kind
pull
of
it
thing,
off.
Yeah.
But he's not
Yeah,
Harrison Ford
it's-
by that point. That's like
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's what I think's good about it. That's why I think it's actually alright. It's because he's not meant to actually be Harrison Ford at that point, is he? If it comes later, if
When
he
do we see the
decides to
mentally
carry on
scarring
doing
bit then?
them. Well, that's the, I miss me.
I want to see the mentally
He's
scarring
meant to
bit.
be. I felt there's meant to be a bit, isn't there? They hint that there's going to be a sequel at the end, and then.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they?
It
Yeah,
was
it's weird.
the ending fell a bit flat. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
But
it was like,
it
oh,
wasn't
more to
helped
come.
I mean, the reason I'm like so like gutted by its reception was because it came after Last Jedi, and because that was
The best
not
movie
as
in the
well
franchise.
received. It's fucking not, because it was not as well received as other Star Wars movies. Everyone was like, "Oh, the next one, nah, don't bother." So people didn't.
I'd
bother.
go watch it though if they made another one. I'd go
I
watch it.
happily would.
Do you know what my problem with it was? It was that when I did watch the trailers and I did look at the sort of plot they were telling, I had to ask myself as a consumer if I would watch this movie, the way it looks, just presented to me, if it didn't have the Star Wars logo attached to it. And that answer was
That's
no.
fair enough.
I couldn't give a fuck.
I was
the
very
same with
So
Rogue
with
One,
the
though.
so I was just like, do you know what? I'm not going to blindly throw my money at a plot I wouldn't see if it was any. If this movie was called One Man and His Bear, a mine race story, I wouldn't go and see it, right? But it was called Star
Calm
Wars,
down.
so I thought I might give it a go, and then I was like, but what if it's a Star Wars movie is just a movie and I could give it a miss, and it turns out that I can.
Yeah, but you could. I had the same kind of thing with the Rogue One though, and I really like Rogue One. It's like one of my favorite Star
I
Wars
like
movies.
Rogue One.
One is good.
I really like Rogue One. Like,
Rogue
it
One's
doesn't. This is what I was saying to my mate about like with Black Widow, for example. If it was like Rogue One, where it doesn't necessarily put anything, really reveal anything big, it doesn't give anything, contribute to the story too much. But if it's good, then why does it matter? It's a good film. You know what I mean? Like, it's a similar kind of thing. That's what it's like. So, I don't know. But, yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, Die Hard.
But Die Hard. Yeah.
I was going to say 20 minutes until I'm Celeb starts. The fair warning.
Don't be saying that.
Whoa!
Right, okay. A lot of what happens, if you've seen Die Hard, you know the basic plot. They run around a building for a bit. They shoot at each other. There's a lot of the stuff, most of the interesting stuff happens at the start and the end, really. John McClane does all this fancy stuff where he kills one guy, gets all his stuff. He kills him by accident by falling down some stairs.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever.
Something that does happen in the book, he also does that in the book. See, that's the one difference, actually. He's an old man in the book. He's not young, fit, thingy. Man in his 30s who's, police detective. He's like retired police guy who's still living off the fame of the previous book. And he's like, I'm going to go meet my cokehead daughter. That's the book. So he kind of tumbles and does things accidentally, but also not really. His name's different as well.
I suppose that explains why, because one of the problems I did have with this movie is there is, in the middle, in the second act, there is a lot of John McClane not doing anything. This movie is at its best when John McClane's doing stuff. He's really creative killer. Everything goes fucking haywire when he tries to do something. But there's a lot of him talking to Powell, and Powell looking angry at the FBI, and the FBI going and trying to be cool, and then just keep cutting between those three things for like 20 odd minutes.
Because Bruce Willis had a scheduling conflict. It meant that they had to rejig the assignment of plot to some of the side characters. So it meant that Argyle got a little bit more play in the limo. Hal got more play just being a cop who can't drive. Holly got a little bit more. Alan Rickman got a little bit more. They all got a little... I called him Alan Rickman. Shit. Oh, well. Snape.
Oh, no, I used the actual name.
I don't even like Harry Potter.
I hate Harry Potter. It's going on record, saying it now.
Betrayal.
Controversial.
You didn't know this, did you, Amelia?
No.
Betrayal.
I think Harry Potter's overrated.
Now, I don't like Harry Potter either, but Jacob, why don't you like Harry Potter? Because I know the reason.
You see, my reason is stupid, because it can be used against me for all the stuff I like. Mm-hmm. And it's basically... Anytime there's a problem, they just use magic.
Okay, so Jacob, I want you to look around behind your room, behind you in your room, at the posters.
Yeah, they just say, it's just
because they say that the Force is caused by fucking germs, doesn't mean it isn't basically just magic.
I mean, yeah,
it is pretty
basically magic. But that was my argument a long time ago, and I haven't come up with more of a concise one yet.
See, I don't like J.K. Rowling. That's why I don't like Harry Potter.
Yeah, so he does all the interesting stuff about finding out everyone's names, finding out how many there are, doing all the fancy shit with the elevator, which I'm pretty sure doesn't work. You can't stop an elevator just like that as easily.
Not like that,
no.
In real life.
No.
Does
maybe in the
80s,
maybe, but... Watch what?
No, on Dave, there's a show called Taskmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've heard of it, I'd watch it.
There was an episode where one of the tasks, they had to get changed in an elevator as quickly as possible. Went from one floor down to second, and they had to change their costume entirely. And there was one guy, I think it might have been James Acaster, was trying to do it. He got in, didn't go with a plan at all, pressed the stop button, like the emergency stop call button. Lift just kept going, doors opened at the bottom. He was just there as he was at the start. So stop buttons, at least here, don't actually stop lifts.
It's a full-on switch as well, isn't it? It's like
in that one, it's a full-on switch. So
yeah, it's weird that my lift doesn't have one of those. It has a bell in case it stops. You press it, and the concierge is like, "What the fuck do you want?" It's like, "Oh, the bell, the thing stopped." Yeah. And it's like, "Oh, what the fuck want me to do about it then?" Sit there.
Stop being a little bitch.
Yeah, but, climb out then, make your own way out. Jump.
He does all that. He climbs out. He does all the fancy stuff. Runs around a bit. Does the sweet climb down the elevator shaft where he actually uses the prop of the machine gun. I like that because
that was really tense. It was a really good scene. Yeah.
And also, supposedly, he was supposed to catch himself on that first ledge. Stuntman fucked it up.
Oh shit!
Oh, right.
So the stuntman genuinely missed the first ledge and fell, and they cut it so that as he fell past a second ledge,
that's pretty cool.
He caught himself on that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Which is nice.
I kind of liked
quite
that he
like
missed the first one, because I feel like he would normally, like, if any other kind of, like, action thing would be like, oh, he'd get the first ledge straight away.
Yeah,
then he
it
kind of
felt
mixed
more
it.
like,
Like, yeah.
as we said at the start, it felt like more like your every sort of bloke. Like, he isn't particularly in shape either. Like, he's in good shape, but he isn't
he's better shape than
super
me,
greased up and shiny
Yeah.
and reflective. You can see him from 10 metres away with your headlights on. Like, he's just your average bloke with your average problems and your average, like, just issues, which is...
I mean, I personally don't think that if I was jumping down an elevator shaft, I would be able to make any of the ledges.
No.
I feel like I would just fall to my death. I'm like, oh, well, fucked it. That'd be it.
Adrenaline.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
That's the plot hole.
But I have no upper body strength.
The magic is adrenaline this time.
Like, even if I caught onto it, I'd just be dangling there, because I'd have no upper body strength to pull myself up.
Yeah, I don't have the strength to pull myself up.
No.
Right? And my hands are sweaty doing this show. Right? Yeah. Imagine if I was getting chased by terrorists.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bad. But yes, he climbs into the little ventilation shaft. That's where we get one of the classic continuity errors.
Yeah.
Where his vest goes from being white and a little bit grubby, a little bit bloody, to just... he wears a brown vest now.
Yeah.
He's just crawling up for the rest of the movie, brown vest.
It's dusty in those vents.
Yeah,
it is,
sure.
Yeah, it's really dusty.
You can tell that the cotton on that vest is brown.
He also becomes a Lego person for a little bit.
When?
In the Lego Movie 2. I'm assuming they take place in the same
Oh,
universe.
yeah, do you remember that bit? Yeah.
Yes, of
God,
course.
yeah. I forgot about that bit.
Wow.
Do you remember them meeting John McClane in the Lego Movie 2?
Yeah. Was it Batman?
Isn't she in the vents or something?
Yeah. Wild Stars in the vents, and she bumps
Isn't
into
it
John
actually
McClane.
him
Oh
as
my
well?
God,
Isn't that
More than once as well.
Oh my god,
Is
I need
that
to rewatch Lego Movie 2.
I completely forgot
I do
about that scene.
remember now, yeah.
That was amazing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh man. Doesn't he say like, oh, I'm just living in vents or something like that? No,
Yeah,
going around
it's just like
vents.
I like going
Yeah,
around vents.
something like
I
that.
like going around
Yeah.
vents.
I need to rewatch that film.
Oh,
that
man,
was
what a
actually quite good.
But yeah, he does a lot of that, kills more people. Some of the kills in this are brutal. I
They're
love
good.
it.
Yeah.
There's the bit where just after Snape, don't know who Hans is, when Snape has been tried to be American.
You've got to actively correct yourself. It's not
It's
easier.
Snape, right? No, it's Snape. He pretends to be American and almost gets away with it, but Bruce Willis knew something was off, didn't give him a loaded gun, and all the other guys come up, and he's hiding like down behind a desk, and the guy's running at him, and he just machine guns the shit out of these guys' legs, and his legs just exploding and falling over the place, and he falls to them like a pane of glass. Oh, brilliant! Good bit of action.
Good action.
There's lots of explosions in this as well. They blow up an armoured truck. They blow up John McClane. I don't know why he decided to blow up the elevator shaft with the computer and the C4 to kill a couple of guys.
It was really cool.
It was really fucking cool, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's action movie logic.
Do you know what the thing is because this is just an action movie, even though I knew I had to do this show and talk about it, I still tuned out some of the stuff. So I didn't actually realise there was explosives on the monitor that he was throwing down. So when it went up the way it did, I was like, what the fuck kind of computer is that?
Heavy one.
Shit.
No, he strapped explosives to it because he found the bag of C4 with the detonators and stuff in it. So he blew the shit out of that.
You know what, like, film we
no,
need?
I think he found detonators and C4 separately. But whatever. Go on, Joe.
I was just saying, right, you know what film we need? We need a film. It's a similar situation. But instead of it being like an NYPD cop or something, it's, again, just a normal guy. But he does all of these things because he's seen movies like Die Hard. And he's like, oh, well, he jumps off the roof strapped to a thing, so I'll do that.
Like
the fire
Home
hose
Alone,
bit.
but an action movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Literally,
that would be
funny.
amazing.
Yeah, like
no
that
one
kind of
steal
film.
that.
Yeah, no.
Copyrighted.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Bleep the whole thing where we were talking about that then. Just to
You
not
know what would be
get
a good
any
idea?
ideas.
Beep. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah.
I'm gonna write a fucking treatment and send it to myself in the next week. Holy shit, that is ours. Fuck you.
It should happen.
There's lots of that. Eventually the plan is to blow up the roof and murder everyone. and then escape in an ambulance in the aftermath.
Yes.
Kind of neat, sure. Some people try and claim that you couldn't fit an ambulance in that truck that they rocked up in, but whatever.
I saw it come out.
Yeah, it came
They got
out
it in
there.
somewhere.
Actually, that's something I found. I always find oddly satisfying about this movie is the scene where the Merc and the truck are driving side by side, and the camera's moving with them at the same rate, and the truck just slowly goes down a slope. Don't know what it is about that scene, but I always watch it and go, "Damn, that's satisfying."
I thought the same thing about there was a couple of gratuitous shots of the helicopters, like they didn't need to be in the movie. But there was like one really cool one, like from down on the ground where it goes, "Whoo!" I was like,
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Awesome.
I thought that was CGI, but it's like I don't think it was.
Definitely not CGI.
I was like, whoa, that's actually happening. Amazing. Practical effects.
Some of the special effects, so the explosions and things, some of those explosions are pretty fucking big. Which as you can imagine would probably be pretty fucking expensive as well.
It'd be pretty hot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your main concern.
Yeah, because like if you ever been anywhere where like a pyrotechnic goes off or whatever, and it's like
No,
really far away, and you're
personally,
like,
I've
ooh,
not.
that's
If I'm
hot.
honest. I've never been near
Have
any.
you not?
It's fire.
I mean, I have. They
I
do them in
didn't
like
know
stage shows and
You know
stuff.
what?
Like,
Yeah,
I've
Yeah,
been
stage
pretty
shows
near
like,
it. Think of that,
like
actually,
stadiums
yeah.
and stuff when like they shoot up the flames when
Ah.
someone like
Well, I've been
Yeah.
to,
I've
to be
been. I've been
fair,
to Disney. Yeah.
as-
Right,
as
you
any-
know in
Disneyland,
Disneyland
yeah.
Paris and that, and
Yeah, I'll
all,
give
and
you that,
like
actually, yeah.
yeah, and so you stood
Yeah.
near it, you're like, Jesus Christ, how the hell, like that's really hot, that's hot.
yeah.
It's like,
So
you
when
can
you
feel
hear
the
an
heat, actually.
explosion, like what
Yeah.
what the fuck that feel like?
There was. Has anyone ever been to Ballers Exhibition Centre in Manchester?
No.
No.
It's that place that where they built the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Oh yeah.
That's where it is. But I went to see an indie wrestling show there, and I was like, so there was like the entrance ramp over there, the ring where I was sat, and one of the guys that came out had like mad pyro, had like fireballs that shot out of the ground like as he walked down the ramp, and I was good 20, 30 feet away, but every time they lit up I could feel it.
Man, I know.
They is hot.
yeah, fire's
Yeah,
hot.
I'll give you that.
That's
It
a
is,
life
yeah.
lesson for you kids. Fire's
Plus
hot.
they're in California.
Stay away
so,
from
you know.
explosions.
But yeah,
Magically
so
hot.
obviously they didn't do those big explosions for real. They shrunk them down a little bit. So the shot where he drops the monitor with the explosives and the whole thing goes up, they had to get lots and lots and lots and lots of lights all around like the outside of the real building and flash them all at once. I think they at the time, because this was the 80s or something, all LA, I read somewhere that they had to get every stage light that they had to light it up
That's
somehow.
mad.
They needed that much light. The fact that these
Okay.
days you can just use like a couple of big LED pads and those things get really fucking bright. But in the 80s they had to get like so many individual lights
That's
to all be
insane.
To be fair,
redone to
most
light
like
all
up.
the other
After
way.
Effects and that can probably do lighting simulation now.
Yeah.
So you probably
Also-
don't even need on set lights.
Yeah. So
That's
they
insane.
had to composite the two shots together all the same. So you had the one of the real building just being just a big flash and then nothing. And then they made a dark model of miniature scale of the building and then blew that up from the inside out.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
then
Wow.
composited the two shots together so that light, flash,
Yeah.
worked.
That's
good,
like-
which
Well,
is
well.
really clever.
That's cool, actually. Yeah.
Like back in the day, I feel like they always, before they could just go, oh, we'll just fucking After Effects. They had to
Yeah.
think about the way they did shots
Yeah, literally.
much more.
Well, it's like the
Jesus.
ASAT walkers and that on Hoth. It's all stop motion.
Yeah.
It's
Brilliant.
incredible.
So good. But yeah, that's a fun little thing about
I miss
explosions.
model work, in
I know.
movies.
Yeah, I do as well,
Practical
yeah.
effects,
I wish
man.
they did it more.
Yeah.
But
I
You
think it
know,
looks
like-
better sometimes.
It is because it's more of like an actual physical item, isn't it? So it can.
Yeah.
There's something about it. I don't know what it is.
it can
like,
fuck
in
up
new-
sometimes.
Yeah.
But like they've been, like, as long as you got some good hands behind it. But think about Thunderbirds, right? That show was like from what, the 60s, and sure, like
Yeah.
I never thought the puppets were real because they were puppets, but I didn't doubt the fucking 60-foot spaceships,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it
Well,
comes to
that was
miniature
a real
set
vehicle.
pieces, they often work well. But something else they had to do with, again, this movie, but filming water miniature scale can often be quite tricky because
Yeah.
the physics of water, it doesn't act the same close up, small, as it does when it's super big. Like the other explosion in this, same explosion, different shot, where it comes up the elevator shaft and he's looking at it.
Yeah.
That again was a miniature, but they had to like experiment with how much fuel they use, how well it's lit, everything, how much to slow the footage down by, because they couldn't experiment with it for real, what that actual explosion would do up the shaft. So they had to just try to guess and do it by eye as to what it looked. Because again, that's not a small explosion that travelled at the wrong speed, so they had to change it. But there you go.
I see a
Is that
TV
the TV
controller.
No.
Hi there. Sorry.
Okay.
What if you put subtitles on? And just turn the volume down.
It's all good. It's paused.
But she has to be in frame.
I mean,
ITV.
we're more or less there now. So.
There we go. Sorted. Let me just make sure it's the right channel. It is. It's fine. It's paused.
While we're waiting, I googled about the guns on planes, and you're allowed to take a rifle on board as long as it's not loaded. The ammo is in a different bag to the actual rifle.
A different bag?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
How is that going to stop you?
Imagine going into the airport though and being like, oh yeah, I've got 2 bags, one's for my gun and one's for the ammo. They'd be like, what?
What sort of permit do you have to that? Do you have to be like some sort of air marshal or what?
I imagine so. You need to do like way in advance.
They wouldn't make you get on a commercial airline, would they?
Surely not.
If you're on a mission and you've got to take your rifle, you're not getting on fucking Jet 2. Like,
please unfasten your seatbelt. Snacks on the way.
Snacks and ammunition will be delivered shortly.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, but basically, end of the film, one of the ongoing themes is that Powell can't shoot anyone because he's scared because he accidentally shot a kid. Fair enough. Saves the day right at the end by shooting the big German blonde bloke in the forehead. Fantastic.
Because it's okay to murder adults.
Yes.
See, has anyone
How
ever...
he survived
have you seen...
that, I don't know.
Nah, well, did you
It was hung
look at,
and
like...
exploded. Oh well. Go on, Joe.
Yeah. Have you seen how the ending of the book is like compared to that? So, in the end of the book, is it Klaus? It's Klaus, isn't it?
Klaus is the blonde one.
Yeah. It's the same thing happens in the book. Klaus comes back, he's still alive. He attacks like a bunch of people, but in the book he actually ends up like shooting like a bunch of reporters and like actually hurting people. And he's about to shoot. He shoots the character that is John McClane in the leg, and just as he's about to shoot him and kill him, the captain, the police captain, the one in this film played by the guy from The Breakfast Club, in the book that character jumps in front of him and saves his life. That
character doesn't deserve redemption.
No.
He's a goofy prick. I'm happy with him.
It's kind of like then the Powell still shoots the guy and kills him, but then the John McClane character doesn't be all like go away with whatever. He just kind of lies on the floor and like it suggests that he dies. Because I was telling you before, wasn't I, that it's not his wife in the book, is it? It's his daughter.
It's his daughter.
And his daughter is actually he's kind of like Ellis, like a coked up, like she's a bad, like she's the reason they're attacking the terrorists. And the watch, she buys the watch with like arms dealing money or something she got. And then the bit where her and Hans are dangling out the window, instead of him like taking the watch off and Hans falling, they just kind of, the daughter falls with him and they both die. So the John McClane character just lies on the floor and be like, it works so much better as the wife. Yeah.
The fact that the
so
watch
John
was the
McClane
thing
character
that was...
just kind of, he just lies and it's just like, oh no, my daughter's dead. Fuck it, I'm just gonna die on the floor instead. And that's how the book ends. Not very Christmassy though, is it? So can't get none of that Let It Snow music as he's on the floor dying. So just saying, But yeah,
fair enough. I think there's some of the changes where they made them make this film better than the book, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It is.
It's a lot better.
The watch scene especially.
Wife. Yeah.
The fact that was the thing that was causing was the metaphor, I guess, if you want to read into it that much, about some of the shitty things, the fact that Ellis was able to hop in there and buy Holly a watch that she actually wore, despite the fact that she knew her husband was going to come up and visit. She's still... That's like...
Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't like that they put the marriage problems in the movie. Right? Because putting the wife in with the hostages, that's fine. It gives John McClane a personal stake in what's going in. But the marital problems do not add anything. And in fact, muddy up stuff, because if you say, oh, but they got back together at the end, you know, that the metaphorical problem falls away with hands, and, you know, they learn to love each other. All the problems that caused a rift in the relationships do not go away because you murdered some Germans.
Yeah.
Thing is, the marriage problems do help the plot of the movie a little bit. Because when she's on the phone to Paulina right at the start, she gets angry with John and slams that photo down. So the photo that shows that they're married and have kids and that they know each other at all is hidden. So when Hans does the joined up thinking, he meets Holly Gennaro. She introduces himself to him as Gennaro, and then he discovers that John McClane is called John McClane. If she had straight away, if there weren't any marriage problems and she'd straight away introduce herself as I'm Holly McClane, he would have known straight away by that point, and it adds that extra level of tension.
You're assuming that there has to be that photo in that place. All of this was decided upon. You could achieve the same thing by having a family photo in a wallet that she has on her person, that when she goes to try and bargain with him in the movie, which still happens, they search her and discover that. I don't think the marriage problems helped. I think like so if you want to say that Hans discovers that John McClane has a personal stake in this thing by a photo, why can't that photo be something that she has in her wallet?
Well, it's not that he
something that can be found upon herself. Like, I don't think the marriage problems add to anything, and I think it's super tropey. And you say this movie was made in the 80s all you want, like they do the fucking we murdered the bad guy, let's have a big old kiss. He's got a big old boner for murder. And it's weird when it happens in all movies. And it still happens today. Man of Steel, Superman flattened half of Metropolis and then got his big old dick wet. Right? Like,
breaks the guy's neck.
It's a bad trope. I don't think it helps. And I think the defense that it helps this thing happen in the plot, you can still have that happen by not having the marital problems.
It's more the tension.
So
it's not just the photo. Tension. Because then
the tension is the woman he loves is in there and is going to die. That's the tension.
Me and you, Joe, just chilling.
That is the tension, Jacob. That's the tension. And if he loves her and there's no marital problems, it's more tense.
Fine, whatever. I give up. Right? Sure, you win. Whatever.
Oh, bless you.
I mean,
win by endurance.
Couldn't get a fucking
win by endurance.
Fucking edgeways, but sure, yeah, okay. Meryl does make a fucking difference. Whatever. Movie over. Roll credits.
Let it snow. Let it snow. Let it snow.
Okay, that was Die Hard. So what we're going to go down now is every single one of us is going to give any final thoughts we have on the movie and give it an overall score out of 10. And then I'm going to use maths to give it an overall score out of 100. Amelia, start us off.
Hello. So like I say, I saw this film for the first time about 2 years ago is when I started uni. I liked it. Like I say, at the end of the day, this is an action film that 100% kind of not sparked a trend in action movies, but I think a lot of people definitely base their action movies in the future off this film. It's a really good base. I love it. It's a classic. At the end of the day, like we said, there's good things, there's bad things. It's a classic film. People love it, and we could go through every single blockbuster in the 100 films of IMDb's top watch before you die list. We can find as many problems as we want. People are still gonna love them, and I think that is the most amazing thing about film, is that we just take our brains out for a minute and we just sit and watch a film. And I like this film. It's good. It's fun. I agree that it is a Christmas film, so don't worry. And I'm like I say, because I don't have too much sentimental value to this film, and I enjoyed it. I wouldn't rush to watch it again because I feel like I'd need some time between it. I'm gonna give this film a 7.
7, Jacob.
So, easily one of my favourite films of all time. I tend to ever watch it once a year. It's become one of those traditions of mine where people watch Elf every year. Sure, yeah, good movie, stuff like that. It is Christmas movie. Don't care what you say, it just is. And I'm gonna keep watching it every year. My dad first introduced me to this film. I'd heard of Die Hard. I think he first showed me Die Hard 4 because that was a 12 because of the way it worked. I was young enough to watch Die Hard 4 before actual Die Hard.
Which one was Die Hard 4?
The one with the computer virus and the fire sale and his daughter's in it as a grown-up.
Oh, okay.
Very forgettable. He's bald. It's the first one where he's bald.
Oh,
There you go. He kills a helicopter with a taxi.
That's pretty cool.
oh no! Is that the one
That
he
is a
drives
pretty
into
cool
it
scene.
or something?
Yeah, he's driving a taxi and he hits like a toll booth and hops out the taxi and he drives up the toll booth and hits a helicopter.
Oh wow!
He also
of course he does.
wrestles a fighter jet at one point.
Oh god!
Yeah,
Alright.
it's not fantastic. So immediately, as soon as I was old enough to watch Die Hard, we sat and we watched Die Hard, and it was the best. It was brilliant. Yeah, this movie, 10 from me.
10. Amazing. Joe.
You know, I gotta say, like I said, I'd seen this ages ago. Like when I was younger, I hardly remembered any of it. I remember the stuff that you remember, like the lines and stuff, all the the stuff, just the lines that everyone knows. But yeah, no, it's definitely a Christmas movie. See, because I always say like anything that's set at Christmas is a Christmas movie. So like Batman Returns is a Christmas movie because that's set at Christmas as well. So yeah, this is definitely a Christmas movie. And you know what? I can actually see this becoming a film, like you said, Jacob, like where you watch it every year. I can actually see this being a film that I now watch every Christmas. Weirdly, I don't know what it is. It's like I watch the Christmas episode of Always Sunny on Christmas Eve every year, now that I've seen it. It's like a tradition I want to have, and now with this one, I want to watch this every year as well. So you know what? I actually like really enjoyed it. It's really good. I'm going to give it like a 9.
9. Amazing. I loved it as well. I did love it. I'm sorry that this episode ended in an argument, Jacob. I did really like this movie.
But fine.
Hey, good to debate.
There is, I think, a little bit of dicking about throughout the movie that I wish wasn't there. Like, I think it's a bit too slow to get going, and it dips off a little bit in the middle. But when it's doing what it wants to do, and that's be a big dumb action movie, it's very, very good at doing it. The kills are really creative. The only thing is some of the shots are a little bit lazy. Like, there's bits where, like, two dudes will be shooting at each other, and it's just the dude's here and he's got the gun and he shoots for a bit. There's literally like a shot of Alan Rickman not even expressing, not even emoting, and just the gun's going off, and it's like, come on, shoot it, have some fun, shoot it fun. But most of the action's really cool. We didn't even talk about it. That bit where he jumps off the building is fucking amazing.
Oh yeah,
with the fire hose. It's you can definitely understand why this movie is inspired so many things and gets referenced so much. Yeah. No, it's good fun. So I'm going to give it an 8, which gives it an overall score of 85 out of 100, which, ladies and gentlemen, Jacob, well done.
Yes.
For bringing us our new greatest movie of all time.
Who did it beat?
Die Hard.
What was the last one? Oh, was it Baby
Baby
Driver? Yeah.
I'm happy
Beating
with
it.
Die Hard number 1. Well done.
Yeah, I'm happy with
He's
Die
beaten
Hard
it by
number
3 whole points. It's not
Amazing.
bad. That is not bad.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Really good, really, really good. Which brings us to the most important part of the show, and that's finding out what we're going to be watching next week. Joe, let us know.
So, Die Hard became the best movie of all time. Hopefully mine is going to be the other end of the spectrum.
I know what it
Oh
is,
my
and I'm
God.
gonna cry.
So it is Christmas. So we've touched on it a bit in this episode. We've touched on it a bit in the other episode, and it's inevitable that one of these films was going to come up eventually. So you got to wait for the big reveal. I'm gonna have to take my mic off, so I'm really sorry for the sound quality that's about to happen. But it's part of the reveal. So you ready? Wait, hold on.
Oh dear. What is... Don't tell me he's getting naked.
No.
What's happening here?
It's full Monty. It's the full Monty, lads.
Wait.
You ready to get that blurry screen, Sam? Might have
This
to
is when the
focus on
best
this.
sat in the corner looking at him like, why is he stripping off?
You can watch the uncensored version of this at theouttakes.com/pornhub.
Right, here we go.
Okay.
Next week we're going to be watching.
Oh.
Oh my god, I know what it is. Holy shit.
Knew it, I don't know if you-
The Star Wars.
I
Christmas
knew I guessed it
special.
right.
Boy.
I've got it written like on the t-shirt.
You said that
Effort
shirt
you've
to
gone
work as
to
well this
for
morning.
that.
Do you know what? I thought there was going to be more on the t-shirt and he was going to like rip the bits off to do even more.
No, this was the Star Wars Christmas special. So there you go.
Amazing. I'm so excited.
It's so fun.
No, I'm excited to talk about it. Let's talk about
Has anyone watched it in full before?
I have, yeah.
it.
Get
Unfortunately.
ready, Jacob, for half an hour of literally just Wookiees.
No, it's not half an hour. It's an hour.
And
a half.
Wookiee porn.
Oh my god.
Oh, and also, it's weird. Do you know what? I'm not even gonna say. There's a character that appears in this film before their actual on-screen
Yeah,
appearance.
I know who it
I know.
is.
I actually know about this. That's fine. I already know.
Where do I think I know about
It's
this?
So weird. But yeah.
Oh
No.
man,
Yeah,
Star Wars Holiday Special. I can't wait.
Brilliant.
Wait. Okay, thanks for joining us throughout Die Hard. Let us know what you thought of the episode and the movie in the comments down below. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and join us next Sunday for the Star Wars Holiday Special.
I hate you.
Bye.